So hi, welcome back to Hype Club. I'm so excited for another episode. So the start of season 3, I decided I was going to do product spotlights at the start of each episode, and this week I'm basically going to spotlight myself because why the fuck not? So this is the Bra by Gem mitt. This is part of Bra, my spray tans, and it's an exfoliating mitt, and it's the best mitt you'll ever use in your whole entire life. So go on to Bra by Gem and buy it. Okay, thanks, bye. I'm going to put it here in case you want to look at it during the podcast. Hi,
Hello.
welcome to the episode.
Thank you.
So tonight I've got Sally of the Alchemy Clinic, and I'm so excited to talk about everything that you're doing with the Alchemy Clinic because, like, I did actually promise myself I'd stop getting aesthetics people on because I had loads of them.
Yep.
But then when we met, I was like, you need to come
It's
on.
aesthetics with a twist.
It's with a big twist.
Yeah.
And I was like, people need to know about this. Like, it is the best idea ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not really just aesthetics. It's
No.
more preventative medicine. So,
Yes.
like, well, you know, but everybody else doesn't know. I'm a nurse. So I've been a nurse for about, God, longer than that actually. I qualified in 2003.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I don't
still in
look at
school.
because of my aesthetic.
Oh yeah, Botox journey.
Obviously. But yeah, and then I moved into aesthetics in like 2016. And it's just kind of grown from there. But obviously with the NHS changing, and I think COVID changed a lot of things and stuff. So I'm more about preventative medicine. So Alchemy's kind of come get health checks, blood tests,
Yes.
all that kind of stuff. Don't wait until you're unwell. Come and get checked out before you get sick.
I think that's the main thing that when you said to me what it was, like, don't wait until you get not well.
Yeah.
Come before, like, get your checks, because like with the NHS, things like that, like, they're stretched or they stopped offering things, and it's just become.
There's so many things they stopped offering. Like, they don't do loads of blood tests. Like, even like, for example, my niece, who won't mind me talking about this now, but she had like some problems with her gallbladder and her liver recently, and she couldn't get a blood test, and she was actually like yellow, colour of a banana, and had to. When I saw her, we were like right up to A&E to get tested up at A&E, and the doctors just refused to do any testing on her.
Why?
Just cutbacks, and we can't get an appointment. If you become more ill, then eventually, like, if you get any more yellow, like, go to A&E. And I'm like, oh, the fact that you're yellow at all to start with means that there's something wrong and you should be getting your liver checked. And she's only 25. And she had a blocked bile duct, so it could have been really serious.
And it was only because you took it up to A&E that.
Yeah.
That's
well, yeah.
shocking.
Also because I know.
Yeah.
Like, so. Yeah, there's just loads of things.
There's
so even
loads of
small
things.
things like that, they're not doing. But I think, like, we've met before and we've spoken, but things like ear syringing, they won't give vitamin B jags to people that have got like pernicious anemia anymore. They've got to kind of sort of resource it themselves and go privately, and it's costing people a fortune. So I'm trying to do a bit of a like pay-as-you-go service almost, but like a better price point than actually going to, you don't have to have health insurance to come to us.
It's not like Bupa type.
It's not like
vibes.
Bupa. It's cheaper than going to your kind of private hospitals and things like that. But also you can just make an appointment for the next day if you want to. Unless I'm so busy that obviously I'll have this huge waiting list. But like
That's the plan.
That's the plan. But yeah, so it's more kind of
Yeah.
I don't want to call it a pay-as-you-go service because that kind of cheapens that a bit. But,
No,
like,
I know what you mean. Just like
readily available.
like, oh, I'm going to really need to get my bloods done for X, Y, and Z instead of having to go private or whatever. It's just like, right, I'll look online, book it in the next day, the next couple of days, go, get the results, wham, bam.
Yeah, and the results, so I've got a lab up in Glasgow now, and the results, 24 hours, 48 hours, you'll get them. So you're not hanging about waiting. Yeah. And then once you've got them, they're your results, and you can then take them to your GP or the hospital or whatever and like present them to your doctor and just say, like, this is what's going on, this is what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's a GP on site that will read them for you as well.
So how did the idea of the Alchemy Clinic like come about? Like, did you feel that there was like a gap somewhere, or did you just go change up?
I was still doing some shifts in the NHS. Kind of moved away from that now, and then you were just seeing that there was, they're starting offering fewer and fewer services, and I don't know. I've always been quite passionate about health. I'm really into health and fitness and looking after myself and all the kind of things that I like to do. So like I would go and get a health check, but I've paid for it for Bupa, and just kind of thought I'd like to offer those kind of services under one roof while still using my nursing skills.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's just kind of grown over time. I think starting off doing aesthetics, speaking to people, and then they would come in with certain like problems in their face, and it's surprising the amount of problems that present yourself on their face that are actually happening in your body. So if you've got people that are really bothered about dark circles under their eyes, it's usually like could be an iron deficiency, all that kind of stuff. So from talking to people with that, I used to be like, well, go and get your bloods tested, go and do this, go and do that. And they're like, well, where would I go for that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of grown from there.
And you were like,
come to me. Mm-hmm.
I can do that.
Yeah. And I started it before. I started blood testing before COVID. But only like 6 months before COVID, and then COVID hit. And a lot of that was actually because I was going to the gym quite a lot back then. And it was for people that were enhancing themselves and wanted their bloods checked and couldn't go to doctors and admit why they were like maybe needing their bloods checked. Yeah, basically they were steroids. Yeah. So it kind of started from that, and then it's grown to just a wee gap in the market.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
but it's more than just getting bloods done. It's more than just aesthetics. Like there's so many arms to it, and there's so many future arms to it too. So like having on site like a physio, a podiatrist, doctor.
Yeah, so there's a GP, podiatrist, a physiotherapist, a paramedic coming in to do ECGs. So, yes.
I've got that on my notes.
Have you got that in? Yes.
We're jumping ahead, Sally.
Oh, sorry, I know. Preempting it. Yeah, what else have I got? There's loads of people coming on board.
And
I've actually done some interviews last week as well, so there's quite a lot. I know, look at me.
You interviewing people?
I know. Even am I? I mean, they were not that serious, not that good.
No.
And in one of them, I actually sent a voice note to a girl to arrange it, saying, "Hi, I'm really looking forward to meet you, blah, blah, blah," and something happened, and I was like, oh, fuck. And then she sent me one back saying, "I loved how professional it was until you said OF." I was like, oh my God, I had to play it back and realise that,
yeah, but they're just
to work on that. I need to work on my professionalism, I think.
No, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's such like a one-stop shop, and I think that's why it's got my attention a wee bit, because I think one, there is like a gap in the market for the likes of like bloods, things like that, but also going like, right, I need a physio, I need whatever it might be, I need an ECG. I just go in and see when there's availability or what the situation is and get booked in. Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm trying to, like, holistic as well. So there's going to complementary therapies are going to be like acupuncture, and because I do think they all have their place. Mm-hmm. So it's quite nice to be able to offer it. And then we'll be able to do little packages for people when they come in and they have certain health checks, and you can refer them to physio when they're right on site.
Yeah, there's so much like to do.
Yeah, there's so like there's just so many. There's all these ideas in my head, and they're like, that's exciting. I'm excited about it.
So combining as well, like the medical kind of side to the holistic side, is that something you've always kind of thought of? Or
I've always liked that. Mm-hmm. So I used to do I worked in ITU for a long time, and I did reflexology. I used to do it this is when I was really like into medicine and really keen on the NHS. I used to do reflexology for patients that were we were waking them up for sedation. And you could see on the ECG how calm they would become when you were doing it, so that when you actually switched their sedation off and they were waking up, it was a much nicer way for them to wake up. So I did a study on that.
So that's something that the hospital does just now, or did you
that was just
make that up?
No, I just did a study on it back in the day.
Oh my God.
But so you can, all these things can tie in, so they can
mm-hmm.
I would never say to somebody, don't get chemotherapy, go for reflexology.
No.
But you could say to somebody, reflexology could help you with whatever.
Yeah,
I literally can't think of anything that can help you just now.
It can help you things.
I can help you things, I can. But yeah. So I do love all that kind of stuff. I think it has its place. And acupuncture I've been for myself, and I would swear by it. I think it works for lots
acupuncture, by the way, is 10 out of 10.
So we've got a girl coming in to do acupuncture. Especially for fertility treatment, it's really good. Mm-hmm. So we've got a lot of that kind of fertility testing, and and a specialist that's coming in.
Yeah, I got acupuncture on my calves, by the way. Agony.
It's sore. It is.
Worth it.
Yeah.
But oh my God.
It's it's a weird one. It's sore if they hit a certain point, and it's like
it
really
pops.
I got it done, and it was like a Chinese man up in the West End, and he's brilliant, he's really good. But he put this like electric machine onto all the needle points, and then just walked out the room and left me for 45 minutes, and that was excruciating. just lying. Like,
just needles jagging you?
Yeah, but like they would pulse every so often. It was right, that was bad, yeah.
Whereabouts on you?
On my stomach, on my legs, and on my ears.
What for?
Just some mad machine thing.
Oh my god.
So,
No, that's wild.
yeah, but it's good.
But it is good, but it's just agony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it can work with. I think like complementary therapies work really well with modern medicine.
Mm-hmm. That's the plan.
Yeah, so that's the plan.
What about the fact that you were a nurse?
Yeah.
So are you still a nurse just now?
I'm still a nurse, yeah.
You're still a nurse in NHS?
No, I don't work in NHS.
Don't work in NHS anymore.
I do maybe like one shift a month.
So technically,
yeah,
yes.
It's almost like nursing's a hobby now rather than a career. Like
when I feel like
just,
it.
just to keep my hand in a wee bit and keep my pension going and stuff like that. Yeah,
I do think things change and like it's good to kind of keep an eye ear to the ground and all that.
Yeah.
But like going from nursing, you're still a nurse, but for NHS to then going solo and like a self-employed is like been quite a shift, like in how you've done that or like how you felt doing that.
So I think when did I leave the NHS? So I've left 10 years ago. Like
oh my god! I thought it was like last week.
No, like my full time job I left 2014. I left, so I'd worked in ITU for 16 years. I did that, and then I left just because it was a bit. I think I was getting too old for shifts, to be honest with you. Also, this is like I left and went and did. It's quite controversial, but I went and did the benefit claims, and people hate it. It was ATOS, so you do like assess people for their benefit claims.
Is that a job?
Yeah, so nurses do it.
Like nurses go around people's houses and say, "You're not paralysed. You can work."
Well, yeah, kind of. They come to assessment centres and you would assess them. So it was when they changed it from, God, I can't remember, when they were changing it to PIP, so personal independence payment, and we would do the PIP claims. And to be fair, most people are claiming are genuine.
Really?
Yeah, most of them. You
Well,
get
that's
some folk that were like clearly not.
Did you see that thing recently in America, the Doge thing that Elon Musk's running? I can't remember what it stands for, Department of some. Basically, Donald Trump's like got Elon Musk working for the government.
I know.
It's mental.
I know, it's crazy.
But to be fair, this is quite good. So this thing they've set up, Doge, and it's one of the things they're doing is going through the government and going through like social security numbers, like benefits and all that, and like assessing where the money's going, where it shouldn't be going, who's bumping it, and I do generally feel that should probably happen here as well. But
definitely
100%. Like I know a lot of people that should be at their work. Like
there's a lot of people when it did switch over. People used to just be able to say they were diabetic and claim money, and that was it. No, there were no checks for it and stuff.
So I could just say I'm diabetic. Get some cash.
You can't do it yet. Now not so much.
Now not. Also, got models probably won't do that, but like some people do.
Yeah.
But
there's people are claiming. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're fine. It's wild. So basically, what they found. So this is hilarious. So Donald Trump was reading like a script, and when you hear him read it, you're like, is he well? Is he saying the wrong words? But he's not. So he's like, so we found one of the people, or there's like 10,000 people that are 236 years old. Like to meet them. So it's like all these people that are not real, but like there's money going somewhere, and they've found if somebody was 325 or something like that, and they were like, clearly somebody's taking this money, or somebody's bumping it, or something's happening because this. But how they've not noticed that until they've went in and pure assessed it all.
But that was like, so when we started working at Atos, and I don't know if you remember seeing the woman. Yes, this is like genuinely a tragic thing. So I don't know for your podcast, but she lived down in Inverclyde. She'd had like mental health problems, and her mum had died, and these neighbours had started looking after her.
No,
it turns out they'd killed her because it all got found out from the benefits changing. So they were claiming for PIP. So like, there was a girl in our office that actually got the claim thing, and then they were saying, well, you used to base it on like how consistent what they were saying was wrong with them was with the condition that they had. And they're saying, this is a bit inconsistent, so we need to see her face to face to make sure that like she's getting the right benefit. And then when they went round to try and get to see her because she was for a home assessment because she had learning difficulties, or like could never find her or anything, and it turns out that she was like buried in the back garden down in Inverkip.
And they were just taking all our
Just taking all her money. You did get loads of stuff like that.
Oh my God, imagine just a casual day in the office and that coming through.
I know. So, it sounded like we were more involved in that when we were, but that's how it got found out, is because the benefits had changed and they had been claiming for her for like it was something crazy, like 20 years, just getting her benefits all the time, and then when it changed.
So mental.
Oh, you get totally. And I remember phoning a woman as well and being like, hi, I'm just trying to find out what's happening with you, what's wrong with you. And she's like, this is ridiculous. I've been claiming benefits for 20 years and I've never had to have an assessment. And I was like, frankly, what's ridiculous is you've been claiming benefits for 20 years and never been seen. And she they kind of stopped hers as well. So, but like, so that's a pure tangent for her life.
No, I know. It's hilarious. So when you left ICU,
yeah, I went to the benefits. And then, I just hated working in an office. Like, really, really hated working in an office. And I was like, I realised why I'd done nursing when I left school. So I did my aesthetics course and left there to do aesthetics.
When you did aesthetics, was it kind of a thing, or was it like kind of up and coming? Because like 2016,
it was probably just starting. There was a few people that had like, but it was just starting. And then when I started it was a bit different because you could kind of just like, I had a hair salon that I was working out of, and then the whole HIS thing came in, so like Health Improvement Scotland for medics, and that changed it a bit, so that made it a bit harder to do it. But I quite like working for myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
Make
your own rules and that.
Yeah. Now I think I'd find it really difficult to go back to
work for somebody else.
Yeah.
I know, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be annoyed.
Yeah, I just think.
Don't tell me what to do.
I think there's a lot of that, because I did go back, because obviously I was doing aesthetics and I was working for myself, and then I started my business doing bloods. So I was trying to like do bloods and vitamin infusions and all that kind of thing. So I was working in the boxing gym, and then COVID hit, and I had to go back to the NHS. And when I went back to the NHS and I was being told what to do, I was like, oh, this is not for me.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think I was like a troublesome employee. Just like
getting sacked.
Yeah. I was doing the vaccines, so I did do the COVID vaccines, which is also very controversial as well. But back then you didn't really realise that. But then I refused to vaccinate kids. I was like, I'm not up for doing this at all. So then I got asked to leave the vaccine centre.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was saying, I stand by this, that vaccinating children, like, there's no point to it. Children were already asymptomatic, so they you could still catch it from them. They could still catch it and they could still pass it on. So what was the point in giving them the vaccine? So I was saying this to parents that brought their kids in. Like, you've made a choice to get yourself vaccinated, but you don't know the implications for doing your children, and it's not going to.
Wow.
There's not any real reason behind it.
What was the parents' reactions to that at the time?
Everybody was usually quite all right with it.
Were they like, you're right, I'm not going to do it? Or were they like...
Most people had brought their kids in because they wanted to go on holiday. So they went abroad, they had to have them vaccinated.
This might be controversial, but what was your thoughts on the vaccine? I'm going to ask you this. Did you take it?
No.
No, that's
Well, I don't believe in them. I don't.
But like at the time, this is wildly controversial. It's probably the most controversial I want to talk about on my podcast, but I'm going to fuck it. Like when COVID happened initially, obviously the fear of God was put into us all. We were all shitting ourselves thinking we were going to die. And obviously a lot of people did, right? But it was terrifying. And then as time went on, Abdi was a bit like, really? And then when the vaccine came out, I remember me and James were like, not taking it. I don't want to be dragged up by something that's been made in 5 minutes when all other research is made in years and years and years. And we were like pure ridiculed and like people shouting at us.
People were like really bad about it. Terrible. And even in work, like somebody looked me up on the system and they were like, "You've not had your vaccine," and they were trying to like kind of bully me into it, and I was like, "Are you going to tell me I can't work if I don't take it? It's up to me if I if I catch it or whatever." So
I know, and then there's a lot came out since, like with like young men and heart issues.
well, there's been loads of like cardiac problems and things. Yes, and it's not a vaccine. Like you don't go and get a vaccine every 6 months. Like it's just medication.
Yeah.
And rather than if you get vaccinated for something, it tends to last for like years or a lifetime or whatever. And all these other vaccines have had so much research put into them, and it's so I was doing school vaccinations like in the high schools for a while, and it's COVID vaccine has been the worst thing ever for the actual vaccine programs because I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I am an anti-COVID vaxxer. I don't care telling people this. I'm quite open about it when I talk about it. But like there are a place for things like your polio and your typhoid, and it's got rid of all these. See now at the schools, parents are just refusing to get their kids vaccinated from anything because of that.
Yeah.
Because they think they've been totally duped.
But actually, it's not because that's been fully researched.
We've
Like
all had them. Like I had
polio.
them. Like yeah. And now you're going to see all these things like creeping back in, and it's already happened with measles and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a terrible thing. I think loads of it. The whole thing was a lot of rubbish.
It was a load of shit.
Yeah.
I remember them saying. So I live on the border between Renfrewshire and East Renfrewshire. All my family live in East Renfrewshire. I don't.
Yeah.
But it's the border, right? You can walk across it in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And remember them being like, you can't go in a different council. So I can go all the way to Johnston, but I can't go into Barhead. Like, shut up.
It's terrible.
It was like, and then remember when you had to wear your mask if you were standing up, but see you sat down, you could take your mask off. Like it didn't go in the sky. It just came down. Like it didn't go down below so up high.
But even masks only work for like 15 minutes. So you're told that when you were doing like if you were going in for patients with like TB and stuff, like you have to change them every 15 minutes. So wearing the same mask constantly when you're out in the shops and stuff would do nothing anyway. All of it was just a lot, like so much of it was such a lot of crap. And then you would hear things like, this has become like a conspiracy podcast. But even like, so I went back to the NHS and I was supposed to get a job in track and trace. I'll probably see if you don't hear from me again after this podcast.
Oh shit, man, we don't say if you're going to get abducted and murdered.
The whole track and trace thing, I was supposed to have a job doing that. That was the first job I went. And then I was sitting and watching the news and I was like, was it McKenny? And it's pure. They're saying that track and trace has been launched today. So I haven't got a start date. So like I phoned up and they're like, no, we haven't started it yet. And it just never came to anything. It never existed. Just a total lot of crap.
What even was that meant to be? They meant to phone you if you were in
to find out you'd been in contact with somebody.
It wasn't real?
Never. It never even happened. Just so many things you'd sit in the news, like they talk about vaccine centres, and I was like, that's not been happening in our vaccine centre, so I don't know what vaccine centre that's going happening in.
That's wild.
There's loads of that.
Yeah, it was a power of shite.
All of it.
So you got sacked for the vaccine centre.
Not quite sacked.
Kicked it.
Not quite sacked. But yeah, told in the nicest way possible that I should probably maybe wasn't for me anymore.
So then where did you go after that?
Then what was I doing after that? I think then we were allowed to start practicing again. So I was working in the south side in a clinic in the south side, Sculpt Aesthetics. That was a huge clinic that had loads of different like practitioners and stuff. So I was there for 2 years, and then it went on fire. So I had a big fire and a flood. Yeah. Right. So and it closed down, and I moved over to a place in Govan. I was there for about a year, but in that time, bought my place in Bridge of Weir.
Nice.
So yeah.
And it is stunning.
It is.
It's so
and it's
stunning.
Finished now.
Is it finished?
Yes, it's finished now. I should have brought pictures for you.
And it's in a lovely bit. Do you know when I left? I didn't realise next door was that Ola Pip.
Yeah, down at the back of it. Yeah.
I thought I was last night on Instagram. That's where that is.
It's lovely. Did you go and visit?
I never went on. I was up the road.
I went and spent a fortune the other day.
Did you?
And I was like, I need my signature sign for the clinic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
yeah, it's a lovely area like that you're in on the main bit.
It's nice. Yeah, and it's good. It's good because it's got like a proper shop front, like and footfall and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I can't wait to get in and get my cholesterol checked.
Yes, come and get that done.
Okay, one of my questions, also maybe another controversial one, but here we are.
Yeah.
What do you think about, I can't say it, I'm going to say Ozempic first and then Mounjaro one. What the fuck
Mounjaro and Ozempic.
that? So do we think it's like a fad? Do we think it's like the real way to go? And because you touched on something last time I was in, or maybe it was that guy did about filler, like becoming...
Oh, I did say, yeah. So, like, I think that was filler in the last few years. I think we talked about this before. So most of my things now are like, we call it like regenerative aesthetics. So I do like skin boosters and polynucleotides, and these are all things that just improve your skin health and boost your collagen and stuff. And so when I first started, you would have folk coming in for like filler packages, and that's just gone away. But now Ozempic's kicked in and everybody's losing weight and they're getting an Ozempic face. They think that filler's going to pick up again for that. It's got its place, Ozempic. It's got its place for people that are morbidly obese.
Yeah.
And it works for that. But I know lots of people that are taking it that are not morbidly obese, and it's probably not the best thing. But it's going to get rid of it. There's no excuse for anyone to be fat anymore or to be obese because they can take these things. And for people that are really overweight, the benefits outweigh the risks. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Is there no side effects?
There are side effects, but there are side effects with every medication. If you read the back of a pack of paracetamol, you'd never take it. Like, but if you are morbidly obese, like your comorbidities are massive. You know, like, so the pressure on your heart and the diabetes and like all the other things. So taking Ozempic is a good thing for that. It's just not if you're not that overweight. It's like, I don't know if you're allowed to talk about people like Katie Price is obviously on Ozempic.
Yeah.
And she has lost so much muscle mass, which is a thing that people don't talk about. Because like I could probably do with losing a little stone, and I know that if I took Ozempic I would do it, but I don't want to lose my muscle mass. So
you can't control where it's going to fall off of.
Well, it's just you're not going to be eating as much, so that is just losing that. So people are getting these little spindly wee legs, and their faces are all collapsing because they're losing their weight so much that they're just like skeletons. So
then they're going to book in with you for a bit.
Then they're going to want filler. So
listen,
I mean,
swings and roundabouts, good for.
I'll be prescribing Ozempic and Mounjaro, and then getting them back in for their filler. But
get you the package.
It definitely does have its. It has its place, but it will be open to abuse, and I imagine like bodybuilders and things like that will start taking it.
100%.
Because if they're wanting to do a proper cut and not feel crap and hungry, then because it just stops you feeling hungry.
But then if you're saying it would maybe go for your muscle, then they're going to lose all their wee six packs and that.
Yeah, but there's a guy who is on TikTok, I think. He's done a whole thing about how you can, as long as you keep your protein, so as long as they're eating a set amount of protein, then they're not going to lose their muscle mass. Plus, if they're on it, they're going to be taking steroids and testosterone and all these things that are going to build their muscle. So, yeah, they'll be on it for a short period of time. So I would imagine for a cut that they would take it. And Mounjaro, you're less likely to lose muscle for it. The way that works.
So they're different. It's not just a brand.
No, it's different. So you've got like Saxenda, Ozempic, and Mounjaro are the kind of main ones. Another one called Trulicity, and they're all a little bit different. Yeah, so they all do kind of different things. So I think Mounjaro's got the least. It's a really popular one now.
Yeah, I thought Ozempic was like American, and Mounjaro was the UK.
No, so Ozempic was for diabetic patients, and now so it was unlicensed for weight loss. So we're still calling it Ozempic, but it's actually called Wegovy over here. Right. So I think it's like it was Danish or something. So it's like
because what that guy touched on, and obviously punt's filler, but like what made sense, the fact that potentially by the end of the year, like filler will become so much more popular again because people have lost all of this. They've got this facelift.
Well, you do see it on all of them. Well, there's Katie Price looks like an alien, God love her, but
she does look like an alien.
She's terrible, but she's lost it so over in her legs, but her face is collapsed in. And then who was Jessica Simpson? Yeah, so I saw that as well. So there's loads of folk, and I know some girls that have taken it. They were never that heavy to start with, and their faces have gone. It's aged them.
So obviously, if you're saying like there's a place for it, and it's loads of people are using it, and it's the benefits outweigh the risks for bigger people. But
like really, your BMI is supposed to be over 38 to start taking it. Like so,
right, a lot of people are definitely
no. So you've got folk that are sitting with like a BMI of like 29, 30 that are taking it. So it's supposed to be BMI above 38, and then you would like be able to prescribe it. And a lot of people are getting it. I mean, this genuinely baffles me that anyone would buy it. So they'll be like, oh my God, but it's 200 and something pounds from like a doctor.
Yeah.
But then they'll buy it from somebody they've seen on Instagram who's selling it in little vials that just say Manjaro on it. And it comes in a pen with a dose on it. And if you are going to take it, don't buy it from somebody that you've seen on a story on Instagram. Who's not a medical professional. I'm not getting into any debate about that, but it's a prescription only medication. Go to a doctor for it. There have been lots of people that have ended up in A&E because they've taken this stuff, and because on the black market they're obviously thinking it's just a diabetic medication. Some of these vials have just got insulin in them. People are just injecting themselves with insulin, and then like you could kill yourself from doing that. So you need to be careful.
Jeez, but it's different than like, we're not going to get into the whole medical.
No, that's something I don't want to tell you.
No, but that's different when it's like
that's a prescription.
Botox, like this is like actual medicine.
This is a
not
prescription.
Just like something.
It's a prescription only medication, but it does blow my mind because I've seen and I know people that they're like, well, I'm buying it for like £40 from somebody. I'm like, you're not buying like the right stuff. And then Sixth Ender, they found out there was like some guy down in Liverpool or something making a kind of dupe of it out of his kitchen. Like, yeah, and it's a totally mind-boggling.
It's like
what would take it.
Growing arms and legs just now. This like it's huge.
It is. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and everybody's on it. And you know that way when you see, like now I'll see people on their stories and things, or girls that I used to work with, and I'm like, you've lost such a lot of weight recently.
I know Sunday, and I am convinced there's no way you can lose that much weight that quick.
No, it just drops off them.
No.
And it's a kind of different weight loss. You can see it. If you, like I say, if you're really overweight, then it's like I do know a couple of people that are on it that are very, very overweight.
Yeah.
And they've been losing it gradually. And it's good for them, but they're on the weight management programme from the NHS. And it does have its place.
Yeah, it does.
And it will, like, you do get a Zempic face, so it's probably going to...
Yes, I do know.
It's going to be benefit. It'll benefit
you're on the OZ.
Yeah. Come and get your face refilled. It does make you look older.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But then you punt your filler. That's the kind of marketing we'll do.
Yeah.
We'll do.
That's it, exactly.
You had those Zempic.
Well, I've already started seeing it. Like, folk are like...
Have you?
Like, trying to do the whole... And you'll get folk that are prescribing their Zempic and then getting them back in to refill their face.
Well, that's your package.
You could do that, couldn't I? That's it. That'd be totally unethical, but I'll make my money.
But that's the aim of the game here.
Aye.
So back to the aesthetic side of things. So you said it's like regenerative medicine, like polynucleotides and stuff like that. What one do you think's like the big one just now that people are like you're loving doing or people are loving booking in for?
Polynucleotides is probably the big kind of like buzzword
for face or like eyes or neck or everywhere.
You can get them anywhere actually. So anywhere you've got any. I mean, some people come and get them in their stomach and things like that. Yeah, so like if they've lost loads of weight, so it'll just like tighten everything. So yeah, polynucleotides are probably a big thing. And they're good. They've been used in medicine for like years for like wound to try and kind of wound repair and all that kind of stuff. So they're basically like it's salmon sperm or trout sperm that they use. So it's like fragmented, but it's the closest thing to human DNA that they found. And if you inject it into people's faces, it's like kickstarts your fibroblasts to get them working again. And that's what makes you produce collagen and elastin. So then you get this really nice kind of plumped out face. And it does work.
Yeah.
Like it really works. So
I was talking to somebody, was it today? I think it was more so about body. I suppose this would probably be the case as well. So obviously like Botox, I really love Botox. But like if you're young enough and start polynucleotides, would that essentially help so you prevent you having to get Botox in the future?
Yeah, so you can it's called collagen banking. So you can get like skin boosters and polynucleotides. Ideally, that's people would come in and get them together. But obviously, everything costs a lot of money. But like that's kind of the ideal. So your like polynucleotides are like giving the structure and getting the collagen and the elastin start working again, and then the skin boosters are like hydrating it. So it's like taking a big glass of water, and it also boosts your collagen. But if you start doing that, start losing collagen at like 25. It's quite depressingly young. If you start with your boosters and your polynucleotides and stuff like that, you can bank collagen so that you never really lose it. So it's a good time to start it when you're younger.
Yeah.
Like very good. It's like I always say, like JLo and filler as well has its place. It still does. And I think like JLo's never really had surgery. I think she's had really good advice, has been taking like skin boosters and all the other kind of things, and has had really well placed filler over time. So every time she's got a little bit of volume loss, so her face has never been able to drop. She says it's olive oil, but it's not.
It's not.
But yeah, I would. So filler does have its place as well.
If done correctly though, because you do see some people.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's basically just for. So see at like my age, if you get filler, it's replacing volume that you've lost because you lose all the fat pads and everything. If you get filler put in, you're just replacing the lost volume. If you're younger and you're going for the Kim Kardashian look, then it just looks stupid and you're not. You're changing your face. And you're also, and this is what young girls don't realise, ultimately making yourself look older because you stretched your skin. So like for my age group, if you get filler put in, you're not stretching it, you're replacing lost volume, so your face just kind of looks a bit more like it did when it was younger. If you're young and you get all this filler put in, you're stretching the skin and you're ultimately making it saggy so that when filler dissolves, which it does, your body just reabsorbs it, you just end up with saggy, wrinkly skin. So you're making yourself look older when you're in your 20s doing filler.
So would you say then for like 20s skin boosters, polynucleotides, and then 30s same, and then 40s maybe like the filler type, depending on like what you want.
Late 30s, I would say you can start getting filler a wee bit, and because that's like preventative as well. Yeah. So there's like skin boosters, polynucleotides and stuff when you're young. In your 20s are probably better. And even Botox, you can start getting Botox too young. So like a lot of girls are like, oh, it's preventative, but if you get Botox when you're in your 20s and you keep getting it, so it's like any muscle, it atrophies. So you need to have some movement to keep your face toned and all that kind of stuff. So like if you completely freeze your face all the time, you never get any muscle tone, you just end up, these women, like, see them in America a lot, they've got that kind of, skin's just sitting over their skull. Like they just look really weird and funny, like ghost-like. That's because they've had Botox, too much Botox, too young.
I'll need to look that up.
So it's like I feel like we should have like a Joe Rogan person.
I know, Curtis, pull that up on the screen.
Can you look that up? What's his name at Joe Rogan?
Jamie,
can you look that up for us?
I say that's James all the time. I'm like, Jamie, pull that up.
Pull that up for us just now. I feel like that's what we need here.
We do.
But that's, so you can get Botox too young as well.
Okay, wrapping back around to the Alchemy Clinic, we went on loads of tangents, but that's okay.
I know, terrible for that.
No, I love it. I'm here for the pure conspiracy theories podcast. I know
that's
I'm
gonna get my clinic egged and stuff like that. So like, I know this is a thing that's happened to me as I get older. I'm totally conspiracy theoried.
Yeah, but I think most of us are now that you see the truth in a lot of different things. You're like,
well, that's part of like. Oh God, people are gonna be like, she's nuts. I'm not going to her clinic. Part of my thing is like I remember reading this thing when I was younger and not really understanding it, but now thinking that it does kind of. I feel like the government is good for you to be almost like a little bit sick, but not sick enough that you can't go to work, but not well enough to realise that you're just working for other people and you're not making a lot. So there's this, which is why I think take control of your own health, like. Make yourself well. I mean, I'm not getting into that too much because.
No, don't get into that too much because they'll be tapping their phones and that and whatever.
I did start talking about conspiracy theories with one girl once who I realised was actually bonkers and started telling me about like how celebrities kidnap children to make them feel younger and steal their screams. Come that bad.
Wow. Where did you meet her? That sounds nice.
She was the client.
Okay.
She was a client.
Past tense. Past tense. But the Alchemy Clinic is basically kind of, you touched on there, what you touched on earlier is that it's so that you can go and get like tests and stuff done before you get actually ill. So like the full body MOT, genius.
Yeah.
Go in, get full bloods, full scans, full checks, wham bam, am I healthy, brilliant, until it gets too far down the line when you end up ill, God forbid, lumps, God forbid, cancer, to a point where you don't think it, and then you go to the doctor far too late. It's like catching things or just knowing for your own peace of mind.
Like, just kind of feel like everyone should get a full body MOT every so often. So just trying to pick up on things and not wait until you find a lump or feel sick or you're like really fatigued or any of these things. Just kind of. But also, if you are, then you're not having to wait for the doctor to find out for a blood test or anything like that. You can come and get it done. And there's other things as well. So I do like the vitamin infusions and all that kind of stuff, just to kind of give you the wee boost. And that NAD plus, I don't know if we talked about that before. That's like a whole like longevity type. I'm right into all that just now.
What do you mean longevity?
Longevity. So it's like not about living longer, because everybody's living longer anyway. So it's more about, God, I'm trying to think how you phrase it. Not like the life in your years, rather than like how well you are as you get older. Things like NAD plus, like all the celebrities are taking that, and it's everybody's got it in their body, and it starts depleting as you get older. And if you replace it, it's like gives you a wee boost, and it's apparently like reverses the aging process and everything. Like it doesn't make you look younger, but it makes your body feel younger and healthier and all that kind of stuff.
And it's like a vitamin.
Just an infusion, yeah. You can take it in tablets and things, or you can go and you can get like a vitamin infusion.
Amazing. And how long does it last for?
I don't know, maybe like depends. You get like supposed to come and get 3 days. You get like an infusion, and it's about 3 months or something.
Nice.
With, like boost from it, and it does. You feel great. You genuinely feel great. So like,
there's all sorts you're doing.
There's loads of stuff.
And the ear syringing was another one, which
because they stopped doing that, so they can come and get ear syringing. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There are so many things. So
I know. I can't wait to see the big list. We'll get it posted, guys, so you can see everything that she's doing.
Yeah, but it's just it's kind of, and like I said, I do think that actually randomly aesthetics and this kind of go hand in hand, because, like I say, when I do talk to my clients, we end up chatting about maybe why they're actually have looking tired or these kind of things. So it's exciting. I'm excited about it.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of the podcast. So the last question is what the podcast is all about. So I'd like you to hype up a small business, charity, or something someone deserves spotlight, and tell me why.
So the one I want to hype up is called Let's Talk Fab, and it's by a girl. Her name's Laura Porter. I don't know if you've heard of her.
Oh, she's a Glasgow Club person.
Yeah, so she does skincare and everything, but she had it's like a fertility charity that she started for people that have had like miscarriages and lots of problems, which is a little bit, this is close to my heart. So, and she started this charity. She's got like funding for it, and she puts like quite a lot of her own money into it. And she sends couples on retreats and to do things to try and make them feel better and help them find out maybe why they've had problems and stuff.
Oh wow!
So she's like, so I think that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
What an amazing charity.
It is actually. It's I think because she had her own. Well, she's dead open about it. So she had an ectopic pregnancy, and instead of like, she's like, I just wanted to try and do something to help people where she couldn't get help. So.
Wow,
that's quite a good one.
Oh, amazing! No, I'll be tagging her then. Sharing the hype. Everybody go and have a look at that. If it's something that you're interested in. But thank you so much for coming to the podcast.
Thank you.
It's been a privilege.
It was amazing.
If you, just for the last wee seconds, want to speak to the cam, don't be nervous.
No, I can't.
And just punt your business in 10 seconds. I
don't know
can't.
what to say. Don't even know what to say. What
Right,
will I say?
okay, I'll do it for you.
You do it for me.
So, Alchemy Clinic, Bridge of Weir, it's got everything that you need to do with health and essentially aesthetics, beauty. Well, I say beauty, but it's not, it's aesthetics.
It's aesthetic. Oh, there's a bit of beauty actually.
Yeah, a bit of beauty. Especially for like blood, all the things that the NHS just can't do anymore. Pay-as-you-go type service. You're not having to like pay a fortune monthly or anything like that. It's just like book as you when you go. And she's got all sorts of new people coming on board. How exciting!
That's
So
exciting.
hopefully soon just get our social media up and running, because it's not up and running yet. But hopefully soon, and you can go and book in.
That will be up and running next week because I've got girls in working next week.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Next work next week. So book in, get in touch, and yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Sally.
much.
It's a
Thank
privilege.
you.
I'll see you next time.